Deep in the heart of Castelia City lies an art gallery that no one dares visit. For within this gallery of despair lies two of the most evil forces in existence: clowns and puns. Can our team survive against such an onslaught? We're about to find out. Welcome back to the Pokemon Black No Experience playthrough, and wow, I have seriously lost track of how long we've spent in this city. We've seriously spent too long here without a gym, so we might as well go in. It's finally time to take on the Castelia City Gym Leader Burgh, the premier insect artist. Not quite as hilarious as his Japanese leader title, which was literally Most Insect Artist. Yes, really. Possibly the most Englishy leader title ever in the Japanese Pokemon games. And it was hilarious like that. Oh yeah, and I don't need that Rawsberry. Yeah. Why is it that a lot of wild fire types come equipped with Rawsberries when they don't need them, since I'm pretty sure fire types are immune to being burned? But anyway, time we finally entered here. Now, you actually can enter here before you've done the prerequisite plot, but the gym guide will actually stop you before you get any further. So, anyway, oh, of course we're going to feel wore down after all that side questing, so we get a fresh water, which we can actually buy now, so it's not really that special, but anyway, any free healing kind of helps. The theme of this gym is Game Shark? No, just, honey walls. Yeah, you'll see what they mean in a moment. So, yeah, no Game Shark required to get through this gym. But anyway, now I'll just see if this lists. Yes, it does list Cheran as a certified trainer, since Cheran said he just beat the gym before. Now, if you try and walk through these honey walls from either side, it won't work. You have to actually get into the middle, and you've got to keep pushing through. Otherwise, you actually won't get through. It'll bounce you back if you let go of the directional button, so you've got to keep pushing. And again, it's always got to be the center. Now, these buttons here, they activate these lights, and once we activate both of them, we can get through these gates. Unfortunately, to get some of these buttons, we have to deal with clowns. Yes, welcome to the Clown Hive. Yeah, this gym is a beehive full of clowns. And, as if it weren't even possible, this gym got even more disturbing in Black and White 2. Oh, sweet Arceus, that was possibly one of the most horrifying, not just gyms, one of the most horrifying things I've ever seen in a kid's game. I can't believe they got away with what they did to his gym in Black and White 2. Oh, sweet Arceus, it's absolutely horrible. They even gave the clowns a new encounter theme, and oh. But we'll get to that when we get to it. For the time being, I'll say 2 uses of Scope Lens Super Luck Air Cutter and no crits. So next up we'll have a Venipede. Let's see if we can get another critical here. Protect. Yeah, the Pokemon in here are reasonably high level compared to what we've got at this point, so that's annoying. Poison Tail, that's surprisingly powerful at this point in the game. And of course, they get a critical. Although it's not kind of understandable given that Poison Tail has high critical hit ratio. Yeah, I believe that's 50 power, high critical hit ratio chance of bad poison, I think. But anyway, we're gonna hit this thing with Fire Fang, and it's gonna pretty much totally decimate it. Basically, yeah, Darumaka utterly demolishes almost all bug types in this gym except one thing. Being terrifying as a clown is also an art. I knew he'd say that. Okay, let's just press this button here, and after that I think we're going to have to go back and heal, because I don't like the fact that my my flying type just got knocked out on the first trainer. That could be a problem. Alright, see you in a bit. I'm back and now we've healed, so let's just keep going. Unfortunately, yes, we have to push our way through these honey walls every single time, but, okay, we got a button in the open. What does this button do? It's the clown button! Yeah, that's the stuff of nightmares right there, the clown button. Anyway, pressing the clown button summons Harlequin Kerry, who has, another swaddle. Now, being bug and grass, these things are actually double weak to fire and flying. So, yeah, both, Pidove and Darumaka are gonna do a real number on them. And at this point, I'm kind of paranoid about not critical him, but anyway. Now, annoyingly, yeah, Pidove's special attack is not the best, and Air Cutter is in fact special, so anyway. Can we get a crit this time? Nope, no crit. How about this time? No crit. Okay, that's 4 and no critical. Oh, wait, that wasn't critical. Okay. But obviously, yes, we only get the critical when we don't need it. Oh, right, now we have a new bug type here, Dwebble. Now, this thing, you want to get your fire and flying types away from that thing, and send in a water type or something. Not grass, because the bug would neutralize the grass weakness, but water? Yeah, water's fine. The reason why is, well, this thing has a faint attack for some reason, but, I don't think we've actually seen a Dwebble yet. Dwebble is bug and rock, and that's annoying because it neutralizes bugs' weakness to both flying and fire. It also means that they get rock moves, which can really damage your... Oh, they also have sturdy, in case they weren't annoying enough. So basically, this is pretty much the one thing in the gym that poses a threat to you. And I mean that even with regards to the gym leader. You'll see why in a little bit. But basically, yeah, these things resist most of the things that are good against Bug. They also have rock moves to hit most of the things you'll be using against Bug for super effective damage. Of course, if you started with Tepig, then Pignite can basically handle these things pretty well, given that, you know, its fighting type will neutralize the rock weakness, so, yeah, if you have Pignite, you can pretty much totally steamroll this gym. I've never started with Pignite, so I don't actually know. Rock Blast? Seriously? Like, that's actually a decent move even in competitive, wow. Yeah, of course, if it doesn't hit you that often, then it's not that much of a threat, but, yikes, if that thing hits you 5 times, that's a lot of power, especially with stab. And go away, we don't want no clown button anymore. And just where the heck was he high? Oh, I didn't even want to think about it. So, anyway. So from now on, we've got to be a bit careful when we press buttons, because we might accidentally end up pressing a clown button! Now, judging by the different coloured backgrounds, floor, that way, then, well, we know that, that gate right in front of us does lead to the gym leader. Now, in order to get to that, though, we've got to activate 2 switches that are on either side of it. This is the first switch, but the second switch will need to take quite a long detour to get to. These honey walls are annoying. But then again, it could be worse. You could have clown cocoons. Oh, sweet RCS clown cocoons. Oh, so terrifying. I still think Burgh's Gym Black and White 2 is one of the scariest things in the whole series. Oh, that music. Oh, it's so horrifying. But, again, I don't want to talk about that now. Let's just heal up and keep, hoping we don't press any more clown buttons. So, anyway, I've pretty much said all there is to say about the regular gym trainers here. Swaddle, Venipede, and Dwebble. I was about to say Crustle. Thank goodness there's no Crustle here. Now that button, that certainly seems suspicious to me. This one's going to activate this switch, which will get us, which will open up that area right there. And that button looks really suspicious to me. That's probably a clown button. And yes, it is a clown button. Yeah, no, I really just did this just to show it off. Yes, that is in fact a clown button, as if it wasn't obvious enough. That and I want the extra challenge. Again, if you're in a normal playthrough, I'd always recommend battling every trainer you can just for the experience. And Harlequin Rick, that's kind of funny given that he shows up out of nowhere and surprises you. You know, you press a button that you think is going to do something, but actually it gives you something else that's named Rick. Certainly reminds me of something. But anyway, these Swaddles here are Razor Leaf. Again, not much of a threat to Darumaka, and this is going to utterly decimate you. Yeah, basically Firefang totally demolishes everything here that isn't named Dwevel. You want to keep Darumaka away from Dwevels, but other than that, it can completely wreck this gym. And that's part of the reason why Castalia Gym is such a massive, And this is our first sign of the horror that is to come with the gym leader. Yes, the horror has not ended yet. Now here, you might notice something poking out there. Yep, this switch is guarded. Thankfully, it's not as if, like, you press the switch and it activates the last light, and then a clown jumps out of nowhere. That would be terrifying. But yes, this fortunately is the last clown we will be seeing in this gym. And he's pretty much more of the same. So, yeah, this was not particularly an eventful gym. Again, Darumaka trivialized this place. Castalia Gym, even the leader, is a massive breather compared to the previous two gyms. So, I guess it's nice after the previous two were actually quite troublesome. So, yeah, Darumaka basically destroys everything. But of course, you gotta watch out though, because Hustle... Yeah, Hustle has this tendency to make you miss right when it'll screw you over the most. So, that's a problem. Oh, wow. This is Burgh's vision. I would seriously hate to see what his mind looks like. Oh. Anyway, we're almost done with the clown hive, finally. Just one more creepy honey wall to go through, and... actually, two more creepy... three more, actually. Sorry, I was way off. And why does the clown button still work? Why does the clown button still work? Okay, now we just have to beat the gym leader and convince him to turn off the clown button forever. Anyway, we're up on this big weird stained glass platformy thing or something, and apparently this place is supposed to be an art gallery. I have no idea why anyone in their right mind would come here. They'd probably be terrified out of their freaking minds. So anyway, it's Burgh time, and that means it's time for some pain. But for a change, this pain does not relate to the battle, which is quite simple. The pain is in regards to, well, you'll see in a moment. But here we go, gym leader number 3, Burgh, and I'll just tell you here, this is going to be a whole lot easier than the previous two, which is thankfully quite nice. So his first Pokemon is a Whirlipede, the evolved form of Venipede. This should be the first time you're seeing it. Yeah, no cocoon stage for this thing. And this thing can actually be surprisingly tough. It's quite defensive, and it's got a lot of good defensive moves. And it can also screech you, which means you'll either have to switch out or get hit very, very hard. Now, come on, please critical. I am no critical, of course. What? 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 I still, to this day, have no idea how they got away with a line like that in a Pokemon game. Oh, what is with that line? I am at least thankful that Burgh in Black and White 2 does not say anything vaguely resembling that line. Because seriously, that line could so be interpreted the wrong way. Anyway, yeah, this thing still has Poison Tail. And it does quite a lot of damage too. But, oh right, the one who doesn't have 3 critical hit boosts gets the critical. Oh wow, and you use Hyper Potions already, and even when you're not in red. Yikes. This is going to be annoying. See, this thing is actually quite defensive. In fact, I go so far as to say that this Whirlipede is probably the toughest thing Burgh has on his team. Now, yeah, there's a reason why I'm not using Darumaka just yet. You don't want to commit your fire type until later on. You want to make sure that you've got at least a fire or a flying type surviving when Burgh sends out his final Pokemon. Because if you do that, you're all set, basically. If not, then Burgh has quite a nasty trap that's ready to catch your fire type Pokemon. you can probably already guess what it is. It's his second Pokemon, and it's basically there to trap you if you're trying to sweep his whole team with fire, just to show you it's not going to work. Of course, if your fire type is Pignite, that actually will work, but we don't have that luxury. In fact, in a no experience playthrough, I don't think it's even possible to get Pignite at all. I mean, unless you're trading, but that's just, you know, downright cheap in a challenge like this. Uh-oh. Oh, this could hurt. I expected it to do more. Please, critical. Oh, right, that was pathetic. That was a critical, really? Yeah, so in case you haven't realised, this thing is a pretty massive behemoth with regards to defences. I guess I gotta send Dan in. Annoyingly, I don't have any rock moves, and you're gonna poison me, aren't you? Oh, phew, okay. Sorry, when playing Pokemon against the AI, I have basically, yeah, learned to be a pessimist in all things, and yikes! Yeah, Struggle Bug is well, one thing, this is Burgh's signature move. But, on the other hand, Struggle Bug is quite weird. It's a special move, so and it has really pathetic base power. So, it's not really going to do all that much to you, but it is guaranteed to lower your special attack. Which in Rock and Roller's case does absolutely nothing, because, you know, who would even think about using special moves on Rock and Roller? But anyway, so Struggle Bug is actually kind of painful though for Rock and Roller, simply because it's hitting on his weaker defense, and okay, that was a misclick. I was not meaning to be a dirty cow and run. Again, misclick. That was a misclick, trust me. So, anyway, you know what? I get the feeling I might actually have to use my Darumaka now. This thing gave me a lot more trouble than I expected. Fortunately, Struggle Bug is not going to do too much to Darumaka. Now, of course, this is in fact the TM that you get for beating Burgh. Oh, and of course, once again, screwed over by Hustle. Oh, and I half expected that to poison me too, but double screwed over by Hustle. Yikes. Hustle is not liking me. And I didn't get screwed over by Hustle at all during the gym. It's just the leader when it decides to fail me. Again, like I said, Hustle will screw you over right when you need it the most. Poison Tail has high critical hit ratio too, so yeah, that's rather painful. Oh wow! Yeah, Darumaka is an absolute beast at this point in the game. I probably want to finish you off with some. I just don't want to risk losing Darumaka at this point because he's my best bet against, and again, Headbutt has slightly better accuracy than Fire Fang, so I thought I may as well use that. Now that Burgh's main thing has gone down, the rest of the battle should be easier. Now this here is the trap, right here. Do not keep your Fire or Flying types out against Dwebble, because it's going to do this. Smackdown. Smackdown is a physical rock move with 60 base power, which is quite nasty at this point in the game. It'll probably take out your Fire or your Flying types, and again, that's really bad, because you need those for his final Pokemon. Fortunately though, despite not actually being weak to fighting, fighting types are actually pretty good against this Dwebble, simply because they resist just about everything it has. They resist Rock, they resist Feint Attack, and they don't really resist Bug, but Bug doesn't really do all that much anyway. So, actually may as well focus energy, seeing as I'm doing terrible damage for the time being. Ugh, Sand Attack. Again, this is the other reason why you don't want to leave Darumaka in against this thing, because Sand Attack plus Hustle equals no chance of hitting at all. Still no criticals. Oh yeah, Smackdown. Okay, I might as well explain a few interesting things about Smackdown while we're doing this painful, slow grind of this thing's HP. Yeah, Smackdown is in fact the only physical rock move with 100% accuracy, which is interesting. The other thing about Smackdown is, true to its name, if it hits a flying type, it'll actually remove their flying immunity for the rest of the turn, just like Roost will. Oh, and this is the reason why I told you. Pain. Yeah, Burgh seems to work for 4 kids. Ugh. It said most of the other puns in Pokemon are pretty subtle, but then Burgh comes along and he's like, "Hi, I'm working for 4 kids now." Yeah. Ugh. At least this isn't the anime. 4 kids dubbed anime. Yeah, some help you were, little. But, anyway, this is Burgh's final Pokemon, Leavanny. Don't be intimidated by the high level. This thing is pretty pathetic. Being a, oh yeah, and I decided, screw this, I'm using an X accuracy. Just because, I really don't want Hustle to screw me over at this point. Razor Leaf does have a high critical hit ratio, but that's probably not going to do that much. So anyway, I decided I just don't want to let Hustle screw me over now. I was just like, yeah, screw it. So anyway, Fire Fang, Bug Grass, double weak to fire. Yep, understandable result. Goodbye, Leavanny, that thing did almost nothing. So yeah, that was Burgh. And yeah, he's actually pretty easy. Compared to the last two gyms at least. I reckon I'd rate him about a 4 out of 10. I mean, he can be kind of troublesome in areas that don't pertain to Leavanny. By comparison, I'd rate the first gym about a 9 and the second about an 8. So, Burgh is quite a big step down. The next gym will step things up again though. Elessa can be quite tricky, but that's for another time. So for the time being, we have the Insect Badge, which I believe actually got a name change. I think this was actually called the Beetle Badge in the Japanese version. So I'm not entirely sure why they changed this. And, see, this is part of the reason why I want to get out of this gym as fast as possible. Because we have to deal with the most 4-kids artist. Beehive full of clowns and a gym leader who constantly sprouts puns. Yep, this could easily be my least favorite gym in the game. So anyway, okay, and he still says something else if you talk to him again. This line is kind of interesting though, because that line kind of evokes what happened with the actual creator of Pokemon, Satoshi Tajiri, in his childhood. The Pokemon series, like the whole collecting aspect, was actually inspired by him collecting bugs when he was a kid. But anyway, I just wanted to show off this one thing, just because on the badge case, every gym leader here, if you touch their image, it will say a short quote. Burgh's is pretty hilarious. So yeah, basically, yeah, straightened gym leaders have some nice, type advice. Burgh, this. I will admit, though, that is pretty good. I guess that almost makes up for the puns. Almost. So anyway, that's it for this gym. Thankfully, we can finally get out of here. So see you next time.